there, I'm Jenny Sailing. I Instagram at The Happy Urban. I'm excited to have you along for a lemon verbena harvest. So before I get to my video, I just thought I'd do a little bit of an intro. A couple of weeks ago, I harvested a bunch of lemon verbena, but I want to make a note. Even though the following video is specific to lemon verbena, you can use the principles for any garden herb. Mint, sage, oregano, thyme, all of those herbs, even basil. Harvesting above 2 new leaf nodes, and you can hang dry everything except basil. Basil likes to be dehydrated in an oven or in a dehydrator. So I hope you enjoy the following video and you can apply those principles to all your garden herbs. Hi friends, it's a nice, mild, cloudy morning, perfect for clipping herbs, and my verbena is ready for harvest. And I always get a lot of questions on verbena, so I thought I would take you along with me on my harvest and show you how I do it. So one of my best tips for harvesting verbena is to harvest often and harvest well. And by that, I mean snip it right above a leaf node, which means that it will sprout in both of those places and grow a bigger, bushier plant so you don't have long, stringy, leggy verbena. Now you can start trimming your lemon verbena when it's about 6 inches tall. This is a good 2 feet bush, and I have had this for going on 5 years now, so each year it gets bigger and bigger. And what I mean by trimming above a leaf node is, do you see these new shoots that are coming out of the stem? You want to trim right above that, and keep in mind that that's where 2 new shoots will come out of. So you want to go about 2/3 of the way down the stem so that the plant grows bigger and bushier, right, sourdough? Otherwise, you basically just get long, leggy plants, and if you trim too high, that's where your 2 shoots will come out of, and it will also flop over. So we're gonna go pretty far down, and I will show you where I'm gonna snip. So pretty far down here, you can see 2 little tiny leaf nodes right there. So I'm gonna go in right above it and snip. And now I'll have 2 new stalks coming out of that, and that's about a foot of the way down on the plant. Let's do a few more. So you can see at the bottom, my verbena is pretty woody. So that's about the bottom third. So I want to go up here, pretty close to the base of where it sprouts out, and I'm going to go right here. I'll get 2 nice new shoots out of that. So harvesting is my first tip for verbena. The other question that I get a lot is, what do you actually do with verbena? I love it in tea. I also love it with all kinds of roasted veggies, roasted meats, in salad dressings, and in drinks. It makes a really nice addition to fruit salads and yogurts, but I'm going to clip a bunch of this and I'm gonna hang dry it for tea. And what I do is I just take kitchen twine and I tie it right below on the stem of the first leaf, so that when it's tied in a bunch, it doesn't slip through and fall onto the ground. Because these stems are pretty smooth, if you tie them at the top, they just, once they dry, they just fall out of their tie. So I'm gonna do a bunch and I'll show you how I do it. I have my little verbena helper here. Sourdough likes to sleep right back there. Am I disturbing your nap time, sourdough? Yeah. You're gonna help, right, buddy? All right, so here I go. As I said, my verbena gets kind of stalky and woody down at the bottom, so I'm starting, I guess, about halfway up the plant, which is where my green shoots are coming out of. And I'll go 2/3 of the way down those. Snip. And I'm not gonna be afraid to be brutal, because the more you clip, the more you get. also important to trim for circulation. Verbena is kind of a soft perennial, and it's really sort of susceptible to diseases like powdery mildew. So you want to make sure that you trim for good circulation so that you get airflow moving through. And maybe anchor your camera too. Now I'm here at my potting station and I have my bundles of verbena. I'm gonna tie them in groups of 5 to 7 stalks. Any more than that and they really struggle to truly dry out. And once you put these in your glass jars for your teas, once they're fully dried, you definitely wanna make sure that they're super dry, otherwise you can get mold and rot, and that's no good for anybody. Then you can't use your verbena. So basically what I do is I kind of pick it over and I make sure there's no bugs on it. Since I grow organically, I don't wash it just because I have a hard time getting it fully dry, even through like an herb or salad spinner. So I just leave it as is, and I'm gonna tie with kitchen twine underneath the first leaf, as I mentioned, so that when it dries, it doesn't slip out of its knot. You wanna hang this in a bright kitchen window. Doesn't have to be the kitchen, but probably not the bathroom because it gets kind of foggy in there, if you know what I mean. You want to hang it in a bright window but without direct sunlight, because if direct sunlight, then you can burn it. So you just want nice dried verbena. I like to use handy dandy kitchen twine. Verbena was really hanging on, and I just tie it in a knot at the base, and then I tie it in another knot so that I can hang it on any kind of hook that I have. Gather my stems together. I have about 7 of them here, and tie right underneath. Get it in the middle there. I'm gonna tie it once. Simple knot. And then I'm going to tie another simple knot at the top. And this will hang on any hook that you want. And then I'm gonna trim off those stems. And there you have it. In a couple weeks, you'll have nice tea. Sourdough, you want some verbena? Hey, buddy. So those are my tips on harvesting and hang drying verbena. Hit me up if you have any questions. It's one of my favorite herbs, and it can be kind of finicky, so I understand, and especially with the first year with the plant, you really have to be good about harvesting for its future life, and don't be afraid to cut. So I hope you enjoyed the harvest, and I wanted to show you, since I cut that video a week ago, what the lemon verbena is looking like now and how it's already sprouting. Thanks again for joining me, and happy harvesting. Sourdough says thank you too. Right, buddy?